Welcome in to call to order this special council meeting on this the 9th day of August 2022 at 6 p.m. Everything's in order. We have notices posted at the front and back of the City Hall annex. And we do have a quorum present also. As we stand, Mayor Pro Tem Henry Page, I will lead us in the pledge. Henry?
Let us pray. Father, I want to thank you for this day. Thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for the citizens of Henderson. And just ask that you would be with this council as we come and make decisions for the citizens of the county. And just ask that you would give us clarity of mind to do the things that will be right and pleasing in your sight. In your name I pray forever. Amen.
Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. Citizens have a comment this time. Sarah, we have anybody signed up to comment?
We do not.
We do not. Okay. All right. We'll move on to presentations and announcements. Anyone here on the council have any announcements or presentations or anything they need to do? Or from staff out in the audience?
We have anything this time?
Okay. All right. With none being said, we'll move on to council business regular session. Number one item is consideration and possible action upon a proposed budget.
Okay, council, this one is the, ultimately, it's the proposed budget that came out of the workshop. The only additions that are to the budget from what we had originally at the workshop is what we talked about in that workshop, some of the little line item things that got missed. And so we redid that, a little Cliff Notes version on that memo that showed those things that we added, which, I put the wrong memo here, which included, when y'all have it in front of you. Yeah, the updated one we did today.
We got plenty.
You did.
The $5,000 for general fund for uniforms, $131,000 for the comprehensive plan phase 2.
Correct.
A reduction of $117,000 and a transfer to streets and drainage, and then the corresponding reduction in the drainage fund. $27,000 added for travels and schools for training, and in the general fund and water sewer fund.
That's it. Those are the things that the only difference than what you guys saw at the workshop, and like I said, all that was talked about during that time. So what this item is just to move that budget, take that budget and move it forward. If y'all are okay with that, and we'll do the vote to move it forward to the public hearing process, in which people can come talk in the public hearings and, give them something to be able to look at and go through and discuss during those meetings.
Any discussion? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Okay, Gina, have a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Item number 1 stands approved. Item number 2 on the agenda is consideration and possible action upon a proposed tax rate, taking a record vote for publication.
Same thing, just with the tax, with the budget, you got the tax rate, be the same exact thing identically. So you'll have 2 different public hearings coming up, 2 different for the tax rate, 2 different public hearings coming up for the budget. So this is just to move the tax rate forward that coincides with the revenue on the budget. This time around, that tax rate proposed is about a penny decrease tax rate decrease. Just, which, there's more revenue because of appraised values. There's some new things on the books that were not there last year, which is great. So when it all comes together, our budget, as we ran through it from the workshop standpoint, projecting where we might be coming from the appraisal district and where those certified values would be, it was all said and done, we were within about $60,000 total on that revenue. So we, Karen and team kind of worked hard and got us really, really close. So we're excited that we don't have a lot of changes coming out of that once we did see that final figure. So when it's all said and done, as we've kind of discussed, we thought there might be an opportunity for a tax rate decrease, and that's what's here, about a 1 penny decrease in the rate. So again, this is just vote to move that rate forward for the purpose of the public hearings.
Any discussion? If not, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the tax rate.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed?
And this is where I have to take an individual vote.
Okay, all right, okay.
So Westy, you vote for
Okay, Wes.
Henderson.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes, so made it.
Okay. All right. With no vote. Okay. Well, sure, I'll get that scratched in. Item number 2 stands approved. Item number 3 is consideration upon the first reading of an ordinance number 2022-08-10 for a no parking ordinance between Richardson Drive and the dead end of South Van Buren Street.
Okay, so what we had was, we have a proposal. So here's the map. This is South Main in Richardson. Does everybody know where we are?
Yeah.
There's a bank of some sort right here.
Okay.
This is the little dead end right here, and this is,
Fire department.
yeah, well, it's the, rescue unit. That's the only, like I was gonna say, emergency service. Rescue unit is here. So this property here, we're gonna build a triplex on it. And which everything fits code, everything, but it had to go through its board of adjustments piece to make sure to get the variance for that and that zoning with a special, use there. So in talking, there was some concern about emergency vehicles getting out onto this road if people are possibly going to park on the street. There's plenty of parking on site for each of those units. There's 2 spots. I think there's 6 parking spots, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? For the triplex. So there's plenty of parking on site for the triplex. So generally there shouldn't be any street parking, but there was concern if there was going to be visitors or whatever, that might. Valid concern. So, there's other opportunities and places for visitors or whatever to be able to park, but to make it where the emergency vehicles could get out without being blocked in or whatever, he said, why don't we just make that little short spot no parking on the street on each side there. Same thing we did in that little narrow area of Mill Street. Remember when it was redone, we had to kind of do that because it's narrow. Same thing here, and we just have to do an ordinance to do that. So this is the first reading, and then we'll come back and do a second reading before official approval. Then we'll put signage up that state, no parking on the street, emergency vehicles and such on there. So.
Okay. No vote on this at this time. We'll do it next meeting. One question. So that street, is it adequate to drive on? Is it an all street or what? It's an all top, I thought it was. Yes. I didn't know if it was adequate. I know I was on it several years ago and down the lake. It wasn't too good. So I don't know.
Must have half rock right now.
It's not as rich.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right. We'll move on to item number 4. That's consideration and possible action upon scheduling 2 public hearings on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 to be held on August 23, 2022, 6 p.m. That'll be at our regular meeting. And on September 6, 2022, at 6 p.m. during a special meeting. Okay.
Okay, my name's on this one too, but I don't know if Cheryl has anything else to say. Oh, the ultimately is the scheduling of the 2 public hearings that we've talked about, and when those will be. There just has to be official action, on those, on the scheduling of the meetings. Is that right, Cheryl?
I move we set 2 hearings on the proposed budget.
Second. Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Like sign opposed. Item number 4 stands approved at this time. Item number 5 is consideration and possible action upon scheduling 2 public hearings on the 2021 tax rate to be held on August 23, 2022 at 6 p.m. during a regular meeting, and on September 6, 2022 at 6 p.m. during a special meeting. It's one and the same.
I move we set a public hearing on the tax rate, 2 public hearings on the tax rate.
Second.
I need to make a correction
All right.
on the 2022 tax rate.
Yes, we do too.
I do have- Okay.
Move we set 2 public hearings on the 2022 tax.
I got it.
In 2022.
I got it. I see.
Me in 2022.
I see. Okay. All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, like sign. Item number 5 stands approved.
And it was less than,
I made it, he seconded.
Yeah. Right. We can go back to raising hands if you want. Okay, item number 6. Or raising flag. Item number 6 is a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, second. Motion has been made and second. We will adjourn then. Exactly 6:11. Cheryl?
I bet it is a record.
Yeah, that is the record. And it was 5,
Yeah, it is a special meeting.
6 items, yeah.